Hello everyone, Today I'm here for shortest way to explain 7.1 training. The 7.1 training is having courses in this springtime and the summertime, the 4 weeks courses. We already started the first point last weekend. When we have discussed that first point in the 7.1 training, I found very interesting and profound meaning in there. So therefore I thought if I make shortest way to explain these teachings and then share to the public, that would be brings a lot of benefit for the practitioners. So that way I'm here for explain in a very short way that we have discussed last weekend. It takes just between 10 to 15 minutes. So in this teaching, first begin with the train in the preliminaries, which is really words of wisdom. So here the preliminaries means the basic ideas or basic thoughts of Buddhism, those which is supposed every Buddhist practitioners adopt to their life, from the Theravada to the Mahayana. Every Buddhist practitioners supposed to adopt, supposed to contemplate for these 4 thoughts. Those 4 thoughts are knowing human existence, knowing the things are impermanent, and knowing the law of karmic cause and effect, and respect them, and knowing the fault of samsara, and having attitude liberate from samsara and achieve enlightenment. These 4 thoughts are very important for the practitioners. If we really develop these 4 thoughts in our life, that means we become genuine Buddhist practitioner. So that way, the teaching begins with the one's own mind trained by the 7.1 training. And then the second sentences begin with the ultimate Bodhichitta. The ultimate Bodhichitta is, the definition of ultimate Bodhichitta is the mind which see and knows true nature of existence, how things really are. And with this wisdom, knowledge mind, culminates loving and kind of compassion. These 2 aspects come into one point, experience in your mind, not just intellectually, but directly experience, is the ultimate Bodhichitta. So if we be able to practice ultimate Bodhichitta, that is the best method to transform, to train the mind. So therefore, this teaching begins with the ultimate Bodhichitta first. So I'm going to read these lines, the words of wisdom. Here it says, consider all things, and even just as dreamlike. Begin with the understanding the existence just like a dream, means the fait, the everything, what we see, what we hear, what we experience have no independent nature, have no intrinsic nature. It is just come and appears to our mind, just like a dream, if we analyze for them. And it is usually called manifestation of the consciousness. So that way, things are like that and reality. So with knowing how things really are is the involved wisdom mind in your consciousness. So that is the first step. And then second says, examine the nature of the unborn awareness. So practitioners may understand it intellectually, or maybe that when we thoroughly investigate the objects, we see there's nothing really exists. There's nothing really appears in independent nature. So that way, in conclusion, we will be able to have the things such as like a dream. But somehow, many of us stuck the consciousness. We believe even things such as like a manifestation from the consciousness itself as the has the intrinsic nature. It is have some kind of solid permanent nature there. So in that case, that kind of view is the wrong view, misunderstanding towards consciousness and the mind. So therefore, we should begin with the investigate towards the mind itself. Every mind investigate and analyze the mind or consciousness, we will see there is nothing really exists. Again, it's same as objects. There's no birth, arise the point. There's no place to location place, and there's nothing to seize in the independent nature. But things are vividly experienced. So therefore, the second words in this teaching says, examine the nature of unborn awareness. And then the next sentence says, let even the antidote be free in its own place. So in that case, antidote is the knowledge, which knows things are just like a dream, which knows there's nothing really exists. Everything is interdependently manifestation. The knower, the knowledge is the antidote for misunderstanding towards existence, and a confused mind towards the existence, and finally the ego clinging, the grasping mind happened to the existence due to the misunderstanding. All those things are eliminated by knowledge, intellectual knowledge, the mind. So once even these knowledge are antidote, but somehow at the end, knowledge itself let it freed in its own place, means the knowledge will not be exist in the form of independent, in the form of intrinsic nature. The knowledge itself liberate from the clanging, from the something existing and non-existent. So itself free from this kind of dualistic point. So then, so the practitioners realized everything, the outer objects, inner subjects consciousness, nowhere, all of them just like dream, like phenomena. There's nothing really exists. Realized that, even intellectually realized, that makes totally different. You are start free from the ego clinging, start free from the dualistic ideas. So then at the at the end of the point, what we should do is rest in the alaya, the essence. That's how we be meditated upon all these knowledges. And finally, there's nothing to analyze, nothing to grasping, nothing to clinging, but simply rest and what you realized, nature of existence, just simply being in that knowledge, the wisdom, make that familiar in your mind through the meditative concentration. That is the way to meditate upon the true nature of existence. Then the last sentence in this chapter, in this point, says, between the section, be a illusory person. So here, the use of the term of illusion in the between the section means when we are in the post meditation, we are being like an illusory person, which is a really extraordinary person who has no slightly ego clinging, fear, expectations, worries, but totally liberated from any kind of extremist grasping point, totally free from those dualistic views, dualistic thoughts. So it is automatically, naturally, this kind of person becomes like extraordinary person. The person who is like we could say miraculous person or magical person means just extra qualities obtained this particular practitioners. So that is the how in that manner one be able to perform a lot of activities. That's what the teaching tells us. I think this is the first point in the 7.1 training. I leave here because I'm trying to keep very short way to explain in this teaching. So thank you everyone for the participants listening to the teaching. If you're interested in more detail, would like to know about these teachings, please participate our course. Courses are always in that beginnings. And we have announced in the curriculum web page and as well as the Facebook page. So you will see there, and if you are interested to learn more about these teachings, just take part in our within course. Thank you everyone.